Hello and thank you for joining me. For those new to the channel, my name is Alan and today's video is all about a survival fire kit. Lots of options, lightweight, small size. Stay with me. So the pouch, it's a sort of cotton canvasy type coin purse. It's advertised on Amazon. I've been buying quite a few of them fairly recently. Whilst they're not triple stitched and Cordura, they are more than adequate for putting kits in. And an Altoids tin kit fits within these pouches quite comfortably, and then there is still adequate space to put in a few extras to improve on what you can carry. The orange one was about $3.99 and that was including free postage and packaging. The brown ones, for whatever reason, were being sold at $1.99 with free postage and packaging at the time. So I've purchased 3 of those, which is for future kits. They are a little bit rattly because of the zip, but it's very, very easy to just get your pliers on that part of the zip pull, give it a twist, take that bit off, and then all I've done is I've used the outer sheath of a piece of paracord, put it through the loop, tied it off, and that quietens it down. I just don't like things rattling about. Let's crack on. So first thing out is a Ferro Rod. This is an Exotac clone. This was actually marketed by a company called EDC Gear. I'm sure there are loads of companies with their name all over it. And they're available on eBay or Amazon or even AliExpress if you want to go to them. You unscrew, and there's your ferro rod. You unscrew the end of that, screw the handle in, so you've got, so it enables you a greater purchase of the ferro rod, and there is a carbide striker there, and it is perfectly acceptable for an emergency survival fire kit. At the time that I bought them, they're probably about £4 each. I suspect they're probably about £7 now. But as an emergency ferro rod, they're ideal. Next out of the tin, out of the pouch even, is a good old Fresnel lens. I'm sure you all know what they are. It's magnifying glass. So if it's a nice sunny day, you have the potential to start fire by magnifying the rays from the sun. Then there's a tin, and that's it. That pouch is now empty. It's an Altoid size tin. Again, you can get them on Amazon or eBay. They're not expensive. I've purchased quite a few of these for making various kits in. Around the tin, as you can see, is a piece of bicycle inner tube or a ranger band if you want to be tactical. And as I've said in previous videos, you could always try going to your bicycle repair shop and ask them if they've got any damaged inner tubes that you can have, or go into a discount store that sometimes sell bicycle inner tubes for relatively cheap because the quality is not fantastic. But if you can imagine you spent a few quid on a bicycle inner tube and then just cut it up, you have got a pretty much endless supply of ranger bands. This is serving 2 purposes. It keeps the tin closed and it is also emergency tinder. Whilst you'll struggle immensely to try and light that with a ferro rod, you need an open flame. But if you use a lighter or something like that, this will burn for ages. It's ideal for starting a fire, a survival fire, when the conditions are wet. Just be aware the fumes that come off it would upset Sadiq Khan. He'd probably want to charge you £12.50 for a low emission zone for lighting it. So that's another piece of tinder. So far we've got the ferro rod and the Fresnel lens. So we've got 2 methods of ignition. 1 method of tinder so far. Then within the tin, there are 2, 6 pieces of tinder. These are from Forest Fundamentals. They are a sort of a compressed wax pellet, for want of a better word. You can break it up, fluff it up, it will catch a spark. So there's 6 of those. I've noticed them on Amazon being marketed by other companies as unbranded, and they look identical, so they probably all come out of the same factory ultimately, but these were from a company called Forest Fundamentals. So 6 pieces of tinder there. There are 2 small cubes of fire dragon gel. I bought these, I think I bought 25 of these from an eBay seller. I've got no connection with these people. Born Survivor Supplies. They were made by BCB. They were, I understand, initially issued with humanitarian aid packages. You won't boil your water with one of these. There's not enough gel. It was for reheating tins, but because of the size, they're an alcohol-based gel. They are an excellent fire starter, and that will ignite from a spark from a ferro rod. So there's 2 of those. Next out of the tin, the mini bic. The mini size, because it fits in the tin. You're still going to get 1500 goes at it with a mini bic, which should be more than ample for a survival fire kit. A tea light candle, because it may be that you're limited, you know your lighter's on the way out, or you're in a damp environment and you need to dry out some tinder prior to using it. So a candle is ideal. You can dig a little impression in the ground, put the candle in there to shield it from the wind and light it, and that will give you a flame as opposed to wasting, for want of a better word, the gas in the lighter. As always with these types of things, I would strongly recommend that you light the candle and then blow it out before you actually pack it away in a kit. The reason being is that the wick is now charred and it is much easier to ignite. An uncharred wick is harder to ignite than a charred one. If you are very clever and you've practiced, you can ignite a candle if it's got a charred wick with a ferro rod. So that's a flame extender. Next is a pencil sharpener. If you can find pieces of wood that are pencil size or smaller, then basically you do it exactly the same as you would with a pencil. Insert it in a hole, twist it, and the shavings that it produce increase surface area, and you have another form of processing tinder. In the lid of the tin are 3 strips of Gorilla Tape. Again, emergency tinder. You can rip them into strips, make a mini bird nest with it, and that will burn for quite a period of time, and again is ideal if you're dealing with damp or wet materials. The next thing is a nappy sack, purely because it folds up to a very small size, and it is ideal if you're going to collect natural tinder and you want to try and keep it dry. So it's just a little bag to put your stuff in. Or if you're going to utilise the tin for making char, you can put the contents, the tinder contents, in the bag. In a survival situation, if the situation dictates that you need to make a fire to increase your survivability, then you also need to be thinking about the next fire. If you go through half your materials to get a fire going, you need to be able to then light a fire perhaps the next day or the next day or the next day, for however long it is that it takes for you to either self-rescue or to be found. So as soon as you've got your first fire on the go, then you want to place some material inside the tin, ideally some cotton, so you should be carrying a bandana. Place it in the tin, put the tin in the embers of the fire and create char cloth, and that will then at least give you some tinder for your next fire. So it's not all about making one fire. You need to be thinking, once you've got that fire going, about your ability to make a fire again, should that one go out, or should you move to a different location because you're trying to self-rescue. That's it. Short and sweet. Hope you find the video of interest. If you liked it, I'd appreciate one of them. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can always unsubscribe after. Thank you very much. Have an amazing weekend. Stay safe, and see you soon.